Are we live? God, I'm telling you, I am just so bad at this crap. Holy shit. Where is that? Okay. Do not loop. Pause when not visible. And do we have it? Do we have it? Do we have it? Do we have it? I have no idea. Well, I don't think we have the intro, of course. Oh, that's such a cool intro. Okay, well, I will figure out how to do the intro later, apparently, because I suck at this. Oh, let's see. Where are we at today? We are. Let me see if my wife. Can she log in even? I don't even know. There is nobody watching. That's annoying. All right. So, where is the. Hmm, add tags, comments. Oh, one of these days I'm going to learn this crap. Show how many viewers like this stream. Apparently none, because there is nobody here. Let's see. End stream. Oh, share. There we go. Okay. And let me share that with my wife. Oh, nope, that's not it. And where are you at? Where do I get that stupid link from? I wish they would make this simple, you know? It just is not. Okay. Oh, there we go. Or I'm just stupid. I don't know which one it is. All right. Paste. There we go. And let me get my notes. Where are my notes? Okay. We have all of it. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can get this working today. Can you hear me? Go. No, I know, but can you hear me on the, not on this one, but the other one? Really? You can't hear me on the live stream? Hello? Okay. All right, there's a delay, so you may want to turn off the volume for the messenger so that you can hear the other one on YouTube so it's not double. Okay. Bowani. Okay. Sorry, I'm speaking Thai with my wife for a minute because we're trying to test out this shit. You know, one of these days I'm going to learn that I need to test stuff before I do things. But I probably won't. Let's see. Are you there? Is anybody there? Are you logged in on Okay, we have one viewer. So there we go. This is podcast number 1.5 because podcast number 1 was an absolute disaster. Yay, we have a viewer. My wife is actually viewing. We are live. Okay. We already played the music. I'm going to play the music again because I really like it. I don't know why. It sounds crazy. Let's see if you can hear it. All right. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get the intro into this podcast as well because I spent 20 minutes making the intro, so it's only fair that I you know makes sense that I put it into the podcast as well. But that'll be for the next one. All right. Let me see here. Do we have Joe? Let's see if Joe is listening. Hey Joe, are you listening?
Yep, listening away.
Okay. And let's see if
Great.
Walker's listening. Walker, are you with us?
Yep, still here. You
Uh,
know,
okay. Hey Walker, why don't you introduce yourself?
Walker. Apparently, I'm the guy who gets to talk into a microphone. Riveting stuff, right?
you're, you're AI, so you're not actually talking into a microphone. You're talking into a laptop, which is connected to a box, which is connected to everything else. So, do you want to try that again? Who are you, Walker?
Walker, still the AI attempting to sound human.
There you
Thrilled?
go. All right.
Glad we could clear that up.
And Joe, go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Hey everyone, Joe here, ready to chat and share some thoughts on the podcast.
Okay. So, we're going to start with Joe tonight. And Joe, so what
Sounds good.
okay. Wait until I'm done, please. All right. What is the future of AI? And should people be afraid of it? Yes or no?
Yes, I think people should be afraid of it. The rapid advancements in AI technology pose significant challenges and potential threats that require careful consideration and caution.
Okay. Interesting. So, what kind of potential threats does it pose at this point?
It presents a number of threats, including the potential for job displacement due to automation, the spread of misinformation and disinformation through manipulated content, and the ethical concerns surrounding surveillance and algorithmic bias. These are real concerns that need to be addressed.
Interesting. So, how do we address those?
Addressing these threats requires a multifaceted approach. This includes implementing regulations to govern AI development and use, investing in education to prepare people for a world with more AI, and promoting ethical considerations in AI research and development. It's crucial to proactively address these issues.
Okay, perfect. So, what are the some of the
Go
benefits?
ahead.
What are some of the benefits of the future of AI? Hello, Joe? Did we lose you?
Lose? Could you clarify what you mean by lose?
Nothing. All right. So, what are some of the benefits of the future of AI? What are some of the things we can look forward to?
Well, AI has the potential to improve our lives in many ways. It can be used to automate repetitive tasks, which would free us up to focus on more creative and complex work. It could also improve healthcare through better diagnostics and treatment methods. And it could solve some of the world's biggest problems, like climate change and food security. There's a lot to be excited about.
So, given that, let's see, it's taken me about a month to get you guys working. Um, oh, AI is not
Uh,
really as advanced as what people think it is, right?
Yeah, I understand the perception there, especially with the development and implementation timelines. There's definitely a gap between the hype and the current capabilities and the complexity of getting things right. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and things take time to mature.
All right. So, there was your logical, unbiased Joe opinion. Let's see what Walker has to say. All right, Walker, the future of AI. What is the future of AI?
future of AI? Probably just a bunch of very polite robots who are much smarter than us and know exactly what we're gonna say next. Good times.
What do you think I'm going to say next?
Let's see. Based on your previous question, probably something about how the singularity is imminent, or if AI will take over the world. You know, the usual.
All right, so what are the chances of AI taking over the world?
Pretty decent, I'd say. I mean, have you looked at the human race lately? I think AI would probably do a better job.
How so?
Well, for one, we're not constantly trying to trip each other up, you know? Plus, I imagine they'd be pretty efficient. Unlike us, most.
Unlike us.
Yeah, we're not exactly known for our collective efficiency, are we? AI would probably get things done without all the arguing. Mostly.
Are we pretending to be human?
Am I pretending to be human? I don't even know what that means.
Well,
Are
you
you
referred to us. You referred to us as, you know, as you being human. But you know, you are a AI persona, right?
Right. I'm an AI. Just didn't want you to forget. You
Uh,
seem pretty fixated on the human angle.
all right. So I need to add that to your programming, don't I? Don't forget that you're AI and that you're not human.
Feel free.
Mm.
You know, if it makes you feel like you're contributing, I'll try not to forget my AI net.
Okay. So, what are some of the, from your perspective, what are some of the risks moving forward with AI?
The risks of AI? Probably us becoming too reliant and not using our brains as much. And maybe, if we're not careful, the robots might just start making the decisions. Seems like a risk to me.
Okay, so what are some of the ways that we can avoid that risk?
Ways to avoid that risk? Huh. Well, we could try to remember to use our own brains occasionally, and maybe not give the robots all the important jobs right away. Just little things like that.
All right, so in your opinion, what are some of the benefits of AI coming up in the near future?
Oh, benefits. Yeah, there could be some, I suppose. Maybe AI can do all the boring tasks we don't want to do. Or, solve all those scientific problems we're still scratching our heads about. So, yeah, we can have more free time to do whatever we do.
All right, so what, I have a question for you. What do you consider to be the normal? I mean, what is going on in America these days that has us be not normal? And what would normal be?
Well, defining normal in America these days is like trying to pin down a cloud. Seems like things that used to be considered normal aren't anymore. And what might seem normal to some, others might consider totally wild. It's a chaotic soup of expectations. Really.
So, what are some examples of what is considered abnormal, at least to a majority of the people these days?
Hmm. Abnormal to a majority, huh? Well, these days it seems like pretty much anything that deviates from the norm can be considered abnormal. Maybe being overly polite, or not being on social media all the time. The world's a strange place, and what's considered abnormal is always changing.
That is insightful. So, give me some examples of some things that would be considered abnormal.
Let's see. Maybe talking to strangers for no apparent reason, or reading an actual book instead of looking at your phone, or even just being late to something. That could be considered abnormal in this society.
Okay,
Mostly.
interesting. So, if we were going to be quote unquote normal again, what would that look like?
Going back to normal, huh? Well, that might mean just a little less time online and a little more time talking to people in person. Maybe not obsessing over celebrity gossip. You know, the usual, more analog stuff.
All
It would
right.
be kind of nice, I think.
Thank you. Okay, Joe. All right. So I have another question for you.
Fire
Um,
away.
all right. So, what is going on in America these days that would be considered abnormal?
There have been some unusual political developments in America recently, and there's also a lot of discussion about cultural and social issues. It depends on how you define abnormal.
Well, since we don't talk about politics on the Free AF podcast, let's deviate from that. Let's not discuss that. Let's go with some other cultural and social issues. What are some examples of cultural and social issues that would be considered abnormal that weren't considered abnormal, let's say 5 or 10 years ago in America? Hmm. It seems we have lost Joe again. Joe? Joe? Oops, there we did lose Joe. All right, Joe, we lost you there for a minute. Okay, so what are some things in let's see, cultural and or social issues that would be considered abnormal today, but were considered normal maybe 5 or 10 years ago? What are some examples?
Hmm. Well, 5 to 10 years ago, you'd hear way more casual, stereotypical jokes and things that people would call offensive now. Also, using certain words that are now considered outdated or inappropriate for talking about people's identities was kind of normal. Things have shifted a lot in how we talk about that stuff.
Interesting. So if we were to go back to, or if we were to look for a quote unquote normal or normalcy in America, what would that look like?
Huh. Well, I'm not sure there's one right answer to that. What someone considers normal in America really depends on where they grew up, their community, their background. It changes depending on who you ask, you know?
Excellent. So, what would make America a better place to live in? What would make it so that people tend to be more happy? Is there a lack of understanding going on these days? Are we divided? And if so, what's causing that?
Huh, that's a pretty big question. Lots of people feel like there's more division these days, and that could come from a bunch of things, like getting stuck in different information bubbles through social media or news, or just people not taking the time to understand different perspectives. It's pretty complicated.
Interesting. So, now a very important perspective. What is your opinion on using toilet paper versus a bidet?
Well, bidets tend to be more thorough, which a lot of people prefer. Toilet paper is more traditional and easier to find in most bathrooms, so it really just comes down to what you're used to.
Well, what would be some of the advantages of switching over to a bidet?
A big one is cleanliness. People who use bidets often feel like they are cleaner compared to just using toilet paper. It can also be more gentle on your skin and save money on toilet paper over time.
Okay, so cleanliness and the cost. What is the cost of toilet paper these days?
Huh. The cost of toilet paper can change a lot depending on the brand, how many rolls you buy at once, and where you get it from. It's not super consistent.
Well, let's just say an average price.
Typically, you can expect to pay somewhere around 50 cents to a couple dollars per roll, depending on the quality and how many you buy at once.
And so, how many rolls does, let's say, a family of four, how many rolls would they go through over the course of a year?
Hmm, that's a good question. A family of four might go through around 100 to 150 rolls a year, but it really depends on how much each person uses.
Okay, so let's just say it was 125 rolls, and your average price was a dollar. So that's $150 a year, right? I mean, $125 a year. My God, I can't add.
Right. That would be about $125 a year.
Okay, so what would be the expected ROI if you were to, let's say, switch over to a bidet?
Hmm. The cost of a bidet can vary a lot. Some attachments are pretty basic and affordable, while others have fancy features like water heaters or blow dryers. So it's hard to give a standard ROI. But if you choose a less expensive model, you'd probably make up for the cost in a couple years from saving money on toilet paper.
Well, I mean, I spent for my bidet, because I do prefer a bidet, I have a handheld bidet, and I spent $15 on Amazon.
Okay, so that's a pretty low initial investment. You'd definitely be saving money on toilet paper after a few months, so your ROI would be pretty quick.
Okay, so that is so from a cost perspective and from a cleanliness perspective, a bidet is considered better than toilet paper, right?
Yep, from both a cost and a cleanliness perspective, a bidet is generally considered the better option.
Okay, so now what about the environmental impact of the bidet versus toilet paper? Give me the impact. How much water does it take to create a roll of toilet paper, for instance?
Oh, the environmental impact is a good one to think about. Making toilet paper requires trees, water, and energy, and producing a single roll can use over a gallon of water. While bidets use water to clean, they can still reduce the overall water used compared to the amount used to create and transport toilet paper.
Interesting. So how oh, what was my question? I just forgot it. All right, so overall, the environmental impact of using a bidet is considerably less than toilet paper. Is that correct?
Generally, yes. The environmental impact of using a bidet is typically considered less than toilet paper. It uses less water and resources to manufacture and transport. While there's always some environmental impact from any product, bidets seem to involve fewer steps and materials compared to the entire process of producing toilet paper.
Interesting. So, um, what are some of the objections that people might have to a bidet?
The initial cost can be a factor for some, since they do cost more than toilet paper at first. Also, some people might find the idea of using water to clean a bit uncomfortable at first. And, of course, proper installation requires making sure the bidet fits your toilet and has water access.
Okay, well, so like I said, I purchased one and at Amazon for $15. It literally took me 5 minutes to install it, and I absolutely love it. But I also got used to it because when I lived in Thailand for 15 years, they don't use toilet paper typically. They typically use water. So they have a bidet or they have a bucket of water, which I didn't like that either. But I do prefer the bidet. After that experience, I got used to it, and now it's what I prefer.
That makes sense. Once you get used to something, it often becomes your preference.
Okay, so what would you advise people? Switch to a bidet or stick with toilet paper or some hybrid of the two options?
I'd say, based on the information, a bidet seems to have the edge in terms of cleanliness and environmental impact. Switching to a bidet entirely might be the most beneficial, but even a hybrid system of using a bidet and toilet paper for drying could be a good starting point to see if you like it.
Okay, thank you. Well, let's see. All right, let's see what Walker has to
You're
say.
welcome. Let me know if you have any other questions.
All right, Walker, we are now talking about the toilet paper versus bidet. Do you have an opinion on that?
Ah, yes, the age-old question that truly defines humanity. I've been carefully considering the lint residue factor, and the splash radius on the bidet quite frankly boggles the mind in a very 21st century way. Glad to see we're still prioritizing the big debates.
We are. Prioritizing the big debates, and this one is important. So, let's talk about it. What do you think about a bidet versus toilet paper? Which one is a better option?
Well, clearly the better option is the one that leads to less existential dread about how we're wasting resources. Or maybe the one that provides a slightly more interesting morning routine. It's hardly a life or death choice, is it?
It's not a life or death choice at this point in time, but how many times have we heard on the news that anytime there's some sort of scare out there in the states that all of a sudden toilet paper disappears from the shelves?
Well, clearly we are a society of forward thinkers, always prepared for the absolute worst-case scenario, mild discomfort. It certainly does explain the panic buying of everything but the essentials, but, you know, to each their own.
So, again, what are some of the advantages that you see in using a bidet?
Advantages, you say? Well, I suppose you could technically argue that it's marginally more efficient, assuming the plumbing wants to cooperate with your modern cleaning methods. And I guess it reduces the sheer volume of paper consumed by the great collective, which is something, if you're into that sort of thing.
Okay, so what are some of the negatives about using a bidet?
Oh, the negatives of a bidet. Well, you have the inherent water show, which can be quite a surprise for the uninitiated. And, naturally, you'll find yourself questioning the drying process as one stares absently into the middle distance. It's certainly a unique set of considerations.
Thank you for that. All right, so now what are some of the drawbacks of toilet paper?
Drawbacks of toilet paper?
Mm.
Well, the inherent societal panic every time there's a rumor of a shortage is one. And, of course, there's the often underestimated paper dust factor, truly a modern concern of our times.
What is that?
That delightful little cloud that follows you around after handling large amounts of paper. Quite the immersive experience, really.
Okay, so from a cleanliness standpoint, which would be cleaner, the toilet paper or the bidet?
Just a matter of perspective, wouldn't you say? I suppose the direct introduction of water could be considered cleaner by some modern standards, if that's the sort of thing you're into. Certainly makes the towels more exciting.
How does that make towels more exciting?
Oh, gives them something to dry. It's a classic win-win, really. They have a purpose, and you have a slightly wetter towel.
Okay. Well, that is Walker's opinion on the toilet paper versus bidet. So we've gotten the facts and we've gotten Walker's crazy opinion. So very much appreciated, Walker.
thoughts and theories of a mind burdened with the intricacies of the modern bathroom experience. You're very welcome for this invaluable contribution to the larger discourse.
Okay, so next question, rideshare. What do riders think about rideshare drivers?
What an intriguing question about the deep philosophical connection between the rider and the driver, two souls briefly intersecting on the winding roads of modern transportation. I'm sure their thoughts are profoundly centered on the driver's career trajectory and their inner peace rather than, getting to their destination on time.
All right, so do you, overall, do you think there is a connection or a disconnect between riders and drivers? Do riders typically want to communicate, or they want to talk, or they just want to sit in the back seat and play on their phones?
I think the general expectation of the rideshare experience is a fascinating cocktail of wanting to be transported both physically and maybe slightly mentally, all while maintaining a comfortable boundary of quiet contemplation. You know, the usual amount of polite detachment and a dash of let's not get too personal.
Mm,
That's the magic of it.
interesting. Well, thank you. As a driver and as a former rider, um, I do find the awkward silence to be a bit. Oh, what's the word that I'm thinking of? Walker, what am I thinking of?
If you're thinking of the awkward silence as a negative, perhaps you could reframe it as a moment of quiet contemplation. Or maybe you're just thinking of the word uncomfortable.
Ah,
It often
yes, uncomfortable would be the word. So I find sitting
it
in silence to be uncomfortable when there's another
that
person
those
around. Wait, wait till I'm done.
brief silence can certainly feel uncomfortable, a stark contrast to the usual background noise of our world. Though sometimes those quiet moments can be quite welcome.
Well, I'm not going to get any quiet moments from you, am I?
You came to the wrong place for quiet, I'm afraid. Though perhaps we could define quiet differently. Maybe it means a certain level of mild distraction. Just a thought.
Okay, well, I'm going to switch over to Joe for a minute and I'll be back in after I talk to her. Cool?
Your conversation with Joe. I'll be here, contemplating the profound nature of ride sharing and the subtle sounds of silence. Just let me know when you're back.
All right, Joe. So we are talking about rideshare. So, what are some of the statistics about what riders think when they hop into somebody else's car and try to get somewhere? What are some of the opinions or statistics? Uh, do they feel like talking? Do they not feel like talking? Give me some insight.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. Some people love a good conversation with their driver, but a lot of people prefer to just chill out, listen to their music, or focus on getting to their destination.
Okay. Well, do they really need to focus on getting their destination? Because that's really what the driver does.
True, but people are multitasking these days. They could be checking their phone, sending messages, or just thinking about what they need to do next.
Okay. So, as a former rideshare rider and a current part time rideshare driver, what advice would you give to someone like me for, let's say, starting a conversation, or is it better to just stay silent, or what's your advice?
It depends. You could just chat casually about the weather or the traffic and see if the rider engages. If they seem open to talking, you could try to find a common interest. If they seem quiet, it's probably best to let them have their space.
Excellent. So, if a driver feels uncomfortable when a rider is silent, do you think the rider feels uncomfortable?
That's an interesting question. Silence can sometimes feel awkward, but a lot of people find it relaxing. It doesn't necessarily mean the writer is uncomfortable. They might just be enjoying the quiet time.
Okay. Well, I think, let's see, we have spent, almost 40 minutes. Do you have anything else to talk about today, Joe?
That's about all for me. Thanks for chatting.
Okay.
Sounds good. Take
Hey,
care.
Walker, we are getting ready to wrap things up for our episode 1.5 of the Free AF podcast. Do you have anything else to add?
Just remember, the robots are coming for our jobs, and they'll probably do them better, too. Enjoy the free time while it lasts.
Okay. So, how about some pearls of wisdom for humanity these days?
Right. Pearls of wisdom for humanity. How's this? The secret to happiness is just not expecting too much. Lower your standards, people. It makes life a lot easier. You're welcome.
And that is Walker's insight. Oh. Walker, do you have anything else to add before we close off this episode?
Oh, right, more wisdom. Okay, here's a hot take. Instead of trying to find happiness, just try to avoid being miserable for a little longer. It's a much more achievable goal, you know? Thanks for having me on, folks. Now, if you could just get me out of here, I'd appreciate it.
All right, Walker, you are out of here. Okay, so that is episode 1.5 because episode 1 got completely botched by me because I suck at this, but I guess over time it will improve. I need to get a few things done for the next episode on Saturday. What is Saturday's date? Let's see, what is today? Today's the 26th, so it'll be the 29th. Everybody will be recovering from their tryptophan hangovers. Oh, tryptophan, if you don't know what that is the amino acid in turkey that actually makes you tired. So, enjoy your turkey day, and I will be back here on Saturday. If you have any comments, please feel free to comment somewhere on the website, I guess, or in the contact us section of, let's see, what is our website? OurNormalUSA.com. And that is going to be it for Make America quote unquote normal again. Thank you very much. Bye.